All right, you're watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm Frank Moreno here with Zen Sims. Cumulatively, we are trying to fill in for John A. Tobacco II, who has a well-deserved day off as he takes his daughter to college. We are dedicating the rest of this show to Janet, who finds today's show just awful. So hopefully we can turn things around with these two, because these two are turnaround artists. By the way, Nico, don't book any guests that Janet suggests ever in the future. That guy that's running for Congress in Long Island that she's supporting, that we have on as a favorite star, don't book him anymore. George something. Forget about that. But two people that know a thing or two about a thing or three. We have on the right, Kevin McCullough, a nationally syndicated radio talk show host, and on the left, Democratic District Leader, attorney, and candidate for New York City Council next year, Josh Kravitz. Gentlemen, hello. How are you doing?
Frank, hey, Zen, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Nice to see you guys.
All right, so let's get down to it. Josh, let me begin with you because you are going to be a key part of Joe Biden's coalition in the general election, because you were a Bernie guy. You were a Bernie bro. You were all for Bernie Sanders, and Joe Biden's got to have your people motivated if he has any chance of winning the election. What did you think of Biden's speech last night? What did you think of the convention in general?
I thought Biden's speech was great. I thought the expectations for him were quite low, and he surpassed those expectations. I think anyone can agree to his expectations that you guys have framed, which is that he's basically mentally not there. I think everyone can see that he's mentally there. But I think the thing is at the end of the day, let's start. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the stuttering kid, because that's really what it's all about.
I thought that as well. I thought that kid was actually very, very moving.
No, it's not even about the fact that he's very moving, which of course it was. It's really about the idea that Donald Trump makes fun of stutterers. Donald Trump makes fun of disabled. No, you can roll your eyes all you want, but this is the crux of the issue, Frank. Frank, this is the crux of the issue. It is about values. Every policy that we have a disagreement about, you want to have a policy disagreement about the Second Amendment, you want to have a policy disagreement about what the tax rate should be, it always comes down preceding it to values. And Donald Trump has no values, and that's why we're able to take away kids from their mothers at the border. Because Donald Trump has no values. Joe Biden is the type of guy to pull a kid aside who's a stutterer and say, let me teach you how to speak, because I had a stutter too. It starts with values. So we could debate policy all day long, but we're never going to agree if you think that Donald Trump's values are the best of what America is.
Well, Kevin, what about that? I mean, what did you, well, I'll ask you the same question. What did you think of last night's convention speech by Joe Biden and the convention in general?
I think for Joe Biden, in terms of his current demeanor and kind of frame of life and where he's at, I thought it was probably the best that you could get from him. And I think that he gave it an A+ effort. I don't think it was very uplifting. I don't think it was very inspiring. I do think it was kind of long on the negative, not a lot of solutions for what they intend to do, etc. But I want to go back to what Josh was just saying, because I think the people in the Biden camp keep saying the stuff that Josh is saying. And the problem is that we don't live in the 1990s where people have to wait for the morning paper to come out the next day to fact check and verify things. That they're able to go to their internet while the speech is going on and immediately fact check things. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to recognize that the Trump economy helped low-income wage earners earn more faster than any time in history, and they were the ones that benefited the most from the increased wage growth. That some people will say, well, that's just policy. To Donald Trump, it's personal. He wants to help people do better. So whether or not you pick on Trump's lack of decorum in certain circumstances or not, he's advanced policies. I let you finish. Let me finish. He advances policies that help all Americans across the board, and that's really where his heart at. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day what Josh or I think. The independents that he now leads Joe Biden in a couple of polls and in the 14 battleground states see it the same way. Trump is up. He's gained a net 7 since the Kamala Harris speech on Thursday night or Wednesday night.
What are words of Joe Biden? Come on, man.
May I just say, first off, one, there's no poll in America that could make a difference, that would be accurate from a speech from Thursday night. It takes time. You have to look at trend lines, and I don't know what polls you're looking at, but Biden is winning by 10. But to say that this is the 1990s and we can fact check, yeah, we have 20,000 documented lies by the Washington Post of Donald Trump. But this is more like the 1930s than the 1990s, because the 1930s is when we have a con man at the top of Nazi Germany telling people what to think, and people believe it and spewing conspiracy theories like QAnon. And now, just like the same conspiracies against the Jews in the 1930s.
So, and again, Frank, I just want to make my point. This is the stuff that Josh and Biden's team are going to say. The middle of the country, the people that have job in factories that didn't have it before, the people that have gone back into the production sector that weren't there before, the families that... Can I finish?
No, because you're not saying anything. There's 10% unemployment.
This is the problem with the left. If you say something that they disagree with, they wish to bully you and silence you. So, Josh, you go ahead and finish your point. And then when you're done, I will come back and be allowed my time. Go ahead.
Interject, Josh. I'd love to get your perspective on Mike Bloomberg's speech.
You know what, Kevin? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but to say that everything is rosy while 10% unemployment and 170,000 dead Americans. There were 5 people who died in Canada yesterday from the coronavirus and 1,000 in the United States. And you have the nerve to say to the people watching the show that everything's doing great. No, I'm not trying to silence you. I'm trying to actually look at reality in America. If you want to talk about Bloomberg's speech, I thought it was terrible.
Oh, good.
I think that's one thing that
I think we can all agree on that one.
There's the bell. Nico, ring the bell. If you have access to the bell, ring the bell.
You know what, Josh? I knew you were going to say that because I'm listening to you talk, and I'm like, you're really passionate about what you believe in. And I don't. For the longest time, I've never picked a side, but I like to be completely objective when I look at performances, when I look at people speak.
So objectively, how is the performance of the United States government doing with regard to the coronavirus?
Well, and here's what I want to just continue to make my point on. It's not a matter of what Josh or I think about this. You've asked me to give my perspective on how I think it's playing out to the voters across America, and I will tell you that in pockets of California and New York and New Jersey last night, Joe Biden. They believe that he's on his way to a huge electoral college victory in November and that this is going to be all over. I will tell you the same thing I was telling Frank off the air 6 months ago. I believe that the Trump coalition is stronger now than it was in 2016. I think he's already secured 4 to 6 additional states than he had in 2016. And there was nothing in the last 4 days that I think moved any of those factors. And if you would like to know the poll in which Trump is up, the only daily tracking poll. Can I finish, please?
More states now. Can we just make a bet on it just for fun?
Well, actually, I would like to see a bet.
I mean, I would take that bet all day long. So let's do it.
What do you guys want to bet? We'll be your witnesses.
Yep.
I don't know, $10.
We had a technical glitch. Do the last 10 seconds for me over again.
We're going to make a bet on the outcome of the electoral college vote. Josh is going to bet Biden. You're going to bet Trump.
No, well, I was actually going to say, Kevin just said that Trump is going to win 4 to 6 additional states.
Correct.
I don't know if Trump is going to win. I will never bet against Trump after 2016, but 4 to 6 additional states, that's a bet I would take.
Yeah. Okay.
There you have it.
Bottle of red wine. Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh?
So what?
No, I was asking, is that a fair wager?
That's a fair wager. That's a fair wager.
You want to go a bottle of bourbon? We'll do man drinks.
Sure.
As long as then I get to participate
Yes,
in whoever.
Yeah. Well, Frank, you have to host the evening at your house. That's how this happens.
And Josh, I know you're joining us from Philadelphia, birthplace of American independence. Also happens to be the hometown of my cousin Andrea, who is one of your people. She is a Democratic attorney, and she you would definitely hit it off. So you should definitely ring her up if you happen to.
But can I finish my last point that I got interrupted on? He asked for the poll. The Rasmussen daily tracking is the only current daily tracking poll where they're doing nightly polling. Gallup got out of the business about 3 months ago, and Rasmussen's the only ones left. And over the last 3 nights, using the same standard that they've been using for the last year, he went from 47 to 51, and his negatives have dropped by 3. So it's a net 7.
If you follow 538, when Rasmussen produces a poll, gives a 7-point swing to the Democrats.
All right.
We'll continue to analyze it.
On a Rasmussen poll, I mean.
Watching, find out who will be called a Nazi next. You never know. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm Frank Moreno here with Zen Sam.